Hey everybody, Ronaldo Woffman here, and I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. And I know this is going to make a lot of club DJs upset, or even some of you mobile jocks that are in love with Serato and think it's an industry standard. I'm here to tell you, I don't get it. Okay, as somebody that's used Scratch Live, heck, even Final Scratch way back in the days in Serato DJ, I don't get it. I personally think they're behind the times, and I've been using VirtualDJ for quite some time for many reasons. Now, as you can see, I do use turntables. I do love a good digital vinyl tracking system, and I believe VirtualDJ has that. Now, before I show you some of the reasons why I use what I use and why I think VirtualDJ surpasses Serato in every way, shape, and form, I got to preface it by, one, I do not get paid by VirtualDJ for this. This is not a commercial for VirtualDJ. If they share this on their page, great. If not, I don't care. I actually don't like several members of the VirtualDJ support staff, and I have several words that I have to describe them. But I have to give credit where credit is due. VirtualDJ 8 is not only rock solid, especially compared to that mess that is Serato DJ, but it has more features. And I'm going to show you some of those features. And some of these features you may like, you may not like, but sit down, shut up, and before you put a comment in there saying, yo, you're not a real DJ because you're not using Serato, let's close the laptop, let's use real vinyl, and then let's really talk. Now that we've got that ego crap out of the way, let's go over some of the couple different things. So first of all, the most important part is that while with DMX software, you pay for the dongle and you get the software for free, I think that's terrible with DJ software. Because what happens is the people that are making the software aren't necessarily cooperating with people making the hardware, with the exception of Traktor. Traktor makes their own hardware, software. It's a beautiful marriage, and that's why Traktor works so well. That didn't seem to go well for Serato, now did it? And that's why all y'all that had the Pioneer gear are now using Rekordbox. So that was problem number one. But the thing with VirtualDJ is they're not tied to a particular hardware. Yes, the new SZ, which was Serato only, now suddenly says VirtualDJ Pro on the side. Funny how that works out. VirtualDJ is not married to any particular hardware. So I can slap whatever mixer I want, and I'm good to go. Now, in this case, again, I have my American Audio 14MXR, and I've got the reloops. And I used to have Techniques, but I got rid of the Techniques. They're all sitting in the garage over there. If you haven't seen the video, make sure you guys watch that review on it. But I can pretty much do whatever I want. So the first thing is hardware. VirtualDJ works with any hardware, no doubt. This is really good because if you ever have your main mixer fail, and for some reason your backup fails too, you can slap another one in and you're good to go. Or if you're going to a nightclub and they have either mixer or maybe there's a button, you're like, I wish I could do this with it, you can reprogram it. That leads us to number two. The MIDI control on VirtualDJ 8 is far above and beyond anything Serato or even Traktor could do. So what happens is, for example, with my 14MXR, right, it already comes pre-mapped. But let's say I don't like the way that this does, that has a control, so I can go into what we call VirtualDJ script and have it specifically do an action. But Ronaldo, Serato does that too. It does, but not very well. You see, with VirtualDJ, I can write scripts to literally have it do exactly what I want it to do. So for example, my shift button, right? If I hold down the shift button, or if I just click it, it works as a shift button, okay? But I can tell VirtualDJ that if I actually hold it down for about a second, just quickly push it, instead of working as a shift button, it works as a pitch lock. And I'll show you what that is in just a moment. And some of you guys on Serato know this is smart sync, pitch lock. Okay, so anyway, so I can do that. But I can then tell that if I hold it down, then these buttons will do this, whatever. Like my cue buttons now become my pitch bend. I've got my turntables, I've got my pitch bend. So with Serato, or VirtualDJ, with VirtualDJ, I can literally tell it, okay, when I'm doing this, then I want these buttons to do that. Basically, if this, then that. You really can't do that with VirtualDJ. It's a very complex scripting language, and it's very easy how they break it down. You can even have, for example, when I go to the pitch bend, I can specify by how much I wanted to skip. So I can say, okay, well, every so-and-so milliseconds, I want the pitch speed to increase or decrease by this big of a percentage. So you can literally have the mixer exactly how you want it. Now, in the case of, for example, the American Audio 14MXR, it's what's called a MIDI log, where you have your analog controls and MIDI controls, right? And because VirtualDJ sees all of these buttons here as a MIDI, or faders and all that, as a MIDI one, I could actually not use this as a traditional analog mixer, but have VirtualDJ control everything on a virtual mixer out here, but the sound card still works. What that means is that if I ever really wanted to actually set, like for example, this one doesn't have where you can set curvature for each volume. I can actually set the fader control for each individual volume. The reloops, one of the reasons that I really like the reloops, you're going to see as I talk about it quite a bit in this video, is because it really integrates your digital vinyl control system and MIDI together. So for example, if you are DJing on Serato, all right, you've got your song playing, and you want to bring your fader in and out, you know, it works like a traditional turntable, and that's all fine and dandy. But I mix a lot of EDM. I'm very open format. And a lot of times when you're mixing EDM, you don't have time to do this. With the reloops, everything is MIDI controllable, right down to the pitch fader. So I actually enabled the option where I can have my pitch fader control my actual pitch. So even though it does control the platter, I can tell VirtualDJ to ignore the speed up, the speed or the slowdown, whatever, you know, the increase, decrease of the speed on the platter, and only pay attention to the MIDI control. So watch what happens. Now you'll see that that's at 8%, but that went a lot more than 8%. Because again, I don't want VirtualDJ to pay too much attention to the pitch, so I use that part, the actual physical platter movement, as a bend. But the MIDI signal controls that. So what happens is if I go into internal mode and I map my load buttons to be my internal in and out, so I can stop it if I need to, obviously, but I can still control my pitch. I can do some really creative things knowing that I can map anything I want to MIDI. Now again, if you have techniques or a turntable that doesn't have a MIDI pitch fader, you can still do it with VirtualDJ by mapping it to this. And yes, I have done this for very, very sensitive pitch fading, and then I'll use this for a tighter control. So that means you could have this 8 to 8% and have this 50 to 50%. It really lets you do some very creative mixing. But now I want to talk to you about transitions. You see, if you are doing clubs and mobile events and all that, and you want to do a transition, a lot of times you're going online or pre-making a transition. I like to do a lot of stuff live. Now, VirtualDJ's had this thing, I think, since like version 6, maybe even 5, but it has this really cool thing called fader lock or pitch lock. And let me show you what it does, right? So if you're doing, let's say, a transition, right? I bet you can do it like me. I have the mega cuts from Franchise Record Pool, and I want to go into my Yetta Twerk remix of This Is How We Do It. You're talking 75 to 105 BPM. So if you want to do a really sleek transition, you either have to pre-make it ahead of time, or you got to basically kind of kick this in, maybe up to 80, and then bring this down to 80, meet in between, and then you can bring it up. I don't like that, because I think every other DJ's been doing that, and it sounds old after a bit. You know, it's the same style of transition. So that's why a lot of people pre-make the transitions. But then you're making transitions ahead of time. You really can, you know, do a real live show with that. So VirtualDJ has this thing called pitch lock. And I actually mapped it to my shift button. But what it allows me to do is if you look here on the screen, as I'm moving one fader, the other fader moves along with it. Don't get it twisted. It is not the same thing as... One second, here we go, as sync, right? So we have the sync button here at 105.45 or whatever, and then I can bring this down, and you see when I move that, the other one comes along with it. Now, at the same time, there's a lot of debates. Before I show you how this works live, I want to tell you about the other thing, and that's the sync button. I know a lot of you guys hate it, but a lot of legit, like actual DJs have talked about using it. I believe A-Track did a thing talk about how he used the sync button, and even DJ Scribble. And the sync button, guys, if you think that the sync button allows you to do this, oh, here we go, here we go. Okay, now I'm going to sync. That sounded like ass, and I don't understand. I feel like a lot of DJs believe that that's exactly what the sync button does, right? That you just push two buttons. Oh, there we go. No, that sounds terrible. So why do you guys keep thinking that the sync button actually mixes for you? It doesn't. And 9 out of 10, if you expect your sync button to work that way, it's going to be a travesty. Boo. But what I have used the sync button for is if I need to mix something real fast, you know, if I'm doing these 10-second mega mixes, a lot of times I'll bring it down as close to as possible So let's say, for example, at 75.2, and I got it at 75.3, and I might just hit that sync button. Whoops, not on this side here. You see it jumps back up to 150. So if I'm over here at 75.2 or whatever, I might bring this one up so it matches it, but I'm still going to drop the beat on the fly. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how that works. I don't always do it this way, but it's really nice to have this in your toolbox. Here we go. So we're playing this song. It's a 75.8. Now I'm going to hit that button and watch what happens. And it's going along with it at the same time. Several things you just saw happening. One, I used the sync button. Oh my God. But not to sync up the beats. It was just simply to make the actual BPM match it perfectly to the core because I wanted to sound flawless and I don't have time to sit there and tweak with this back and forth, right? So next you saw me use the pitch lock, which moved both of these at the same time. And then what you saw is you saw me take this off the actual time code. So once it was playing, I could still control it. I can do whatever I need to, right? I can even bump it up and down with my pitch fade buttons. But in a very, very fine-tuned transition like that, I don't want the flutter of the turntables, the bass, or anything mess it up. So I completely take it on internal mode, but I still have full control of my music, just not the platter. And I don't need it for that because I can push and bump with this if I need to. Now, some of you may be staring in disbelief. Oh my God, I don't care. You used a sync button. You're not a legit DJ. Look, let me tell you something. If that's the way you feel, if that's the way you think, you're in this game for the wrong reasons and you may not be the real DJ. Let me break it down to you real quick, all right? Now, I use the sync button again, not to mix a song for me, but to match two numerical values. If you think the art of being a DJ is to match two numerical values, you're absolutely insane. I can match it by ear. Hell, I can match it with my eyes closed, okay? I started, you know, like a lot of us, I mixed at a skating rink, and I had these crappy headphones. They didn't have bass, so I'm literally having to beat mix listening to the snare instead of the bass. I can harmonically mix, but you know what? I use mixed in key. I can mix by ear, but yet I still take advantage of the waveforms. And how about that? How is it that all the Serato guys are hating on people that use the sync button? Because Tractor had it, VirtualDJ had it before Serato did, but yet they're staring like this at color waveforms, and they're mixing looking at waveforms. Bro, you're gonna tell me that that's, you know, the sync button is cheating, but looking at a color waveform isn't cheating? Come on, man. If that's really what you think the art of DJing is, then you're not a DJ. You need to get your head out of your butt and understand that the whole reason that people pay us to rock the party is because we're creative. We know how to mix. And these little three tricks, or not tricks, but tools in my toolbox that I showed you allow me to do some wicked cool stuff. Stuff that the Serato guys will look like, wait, how'd you do that live? Did you pre-make that? Well, you know, what are you using to edit? Are you using, you know, whatever? Hold on. I want to say it like that either. I can't mention that software crap. Are you using Ableton? No, man, I'm doing it live. I'm doing it live. Okay, so basically making your mixes ahead of time, and I've had this conversation. They're like, oh, you're doing it live, well, how? And I showed them like, oh, that's cheating because you're using the sync button. Okay, hold up. You're saying that's cheating because I used the sync button just to match up two numerical values? I'm still dropping it to the beat. I'm still mixing it live. But you pre-doing something ahead of time in Ableton. The auto-tune of DJing, and that's okay? Come on, dude. Be real with me. You know that argument is ridiculous and stupid, so why do so many DJs still fall for it? But let's continue on, because I want to show you one other incredible thing. Now, the only problem with DJing is the technology keeps changing. Now, we know this, but the biggest part that changes are sampler pads. It seems every other day there's a new sampler pad, new option, and I'm tired of it. I got the best possible pad here, and that is the iPad. Now that I realize my mic had died on me, I wanted to show you the remote, because you can use a remote with Serato, but I find it very limiting. Now, this may have changed. I haven't used it in a while, but in my opinion, VirtualDJs blows them all out of the water because you can customize the remote however you want. Now, I could sit there and take the time and make my own script and everything else, but DJ Dad, aka Babis, over VirtualDJ, he made this remote, and this is freaking awesome. So I'm gonna quick show you how this works, right? So we've got the song. Now, I want to point out, if you see this lag on here, it's because this is hooked up to the main house router, so I can control all my cameras and everything else. But you'll see that even if this does lag, or even if the program were to freeze, it does not affect the sound quality or video. That I have had where, you know, my older laptops, where VirtualDJ would lock up, but the music would still continue playing, and I really like that. But check this out. First of all, we have our cues. So again, I'm not really trying to do anything. I'm just trying to show you can take a lot of inputs at the same time, okay? That's on this bottom part here. But we've got loops. You can actually control your loops if you like it, you know, what I call old school, where you can move it over one, bring it down. You can choose your intro or your in loop out. You can cut that loop in half, you can double it, or you can do loop rolls. Slicer, very effective as well. Maybe you want to change the slicer up a little bit. So now you can have it. And then of course samplers. Now samplers, I'm actually doing it on this side over here so you can kind of see what's going on, because we can have different things over here. Right, we've got that, but I'm gonna go over here and now I can affect the volume. I can go into my different effects. So I have one with my drops.
Hey, you want to John get it crunk right now with the crunk specialist, DJ Crazy Ace. Left music. Get out of your mind.
Now I can choose my songs from VirtualDJ directly, or I can go here and go into my music. So let's say we're in 2016, rap and hip hop. If I go into my remixes, see I can swipe left for sub, swipe right for parent folder. So I'm actually gonna go to 2015. All right, we go to remixes, Michael Vargas. And there we go there. We're gonna load it on deck B. Now I'm gonna bring this back up to the full 128. But now what's cool is, I can go here, and it'll automatically sync, oh my God, it'll sync my drops, or not drops, my, oh, help me here with a word. Help me sync my samplers into the song. So check this out. The other important part is how well does it track? We're gonna just do a scratch samples here, some scratch ammos.
Are you ready?
Now, I am not a scratch DJ by any means, so you're not about to see me do any kind of scratching, but I want to show you just how well the tracking is on it. Now, one of the things that I got to preface this is that I actually have VirtualDJ to kind of focus between good sound quality, a decent scratch. So I have mine set to be a good median, because you can actually have different anti-skip options where it'll ignore how many grooves it jumps. You can actually tell it that, if you've already ruined the first maybe 10 seconds of your vinyl, you can actually tell it to start the time code further in. So that way your vinyl lasts a little bit longer. For me, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I much prefer it to be that way. But check how well it tracks.
Ready to make.
So it does a really nice job. And like I said, I'm no scratch DJ by any means, so you're not about to hear anything great. I just want to show you some different things that you know how well it does track. So I'm going to set it right here. Version 5 and 6 and even 7, that would have never happened. I would have started here, done that, and somehow I would be right there when the signal starts again. And yet, that's working, and it's working really damn well, and I absolutely love how well it tracks. But let's go ahead and go into our actual pitch. Let's go ahead and bring this up here. I'm going to use a song, Rockin' with the Best, by Thrill the Player from 69 Boys, Seth Vogue, Dustin Holton. Really good track up. Right, I can drop in my drops if I wanted to.
Yo, what up? It's your boy, One Thrill the Player in the HB fraternity. And it's time to get your slide on, baby, with DJ Crazy Ace. That's slide out.
So now, watch as I speed it up.
We vibing and chillin' and chillin' and vibing.
It sounds great.
We vibing and chillin'.
This is the tougher part, all the way down to 63.
Vibing and vibing and vibing and vibing.
I did not have to pay to get a plugin to make the sound actually sound decent. It sounds great right out of the box. You don't need to spend any more money on additional plugins or anything like that. Tons of effects, add-ons that you can do. You can make your own effects. You can make your own skins. You can brand it with your DJ logo. Seriously, why are we using anything else? It's crazy. All the features that you would want. A full built-in sampler. You can even go into here, right? I can actually edit. And let me show you real quick how that works. So if I go to my Bpm Editor, I can actually edit this. And if it's a transition, like a pre-made transition, I can tell it that this part here will start at 128, and then it transitions down over here to to 130 or 92, and it'll automatically calculate that for me. So it makes mixing a little bit easier because I don't have to try to remember, hold on a second, that's 90 BPM, but this is a transition to 128. You can do what's called point of interest too. So if I go here into my POI editor, I can actually have different type of stuff. So I can load auto mix points. I can do remix points. I can do a cue, save, I can have different things come up at different parts of the song, which makes mixing not just more fun, it makes mixing great again. This is the Donald Trump of DJ software. Let's make mixing great again. But it allows us to really be creative, and that's what being a DJ is all about. It isn't about, well, listen, I know math and I can mix this song by this one by applying numerical stuff, and if you want anything other than that, you gotta wait till I can make that number match up just right. I'm not saying hit the sync button, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it does not work. Here, ready? Let's do it one more time.
I ain't gonna stop, not child, please. If I wanna be the best, then I got to believe. If I wanna be the
I'm gonna hit the cue. I'm gonna bring it up.
That's my cue. I know I'm the best, but how about you? I know I'm the best, but how about you?
Pure ass. It's the new Lifetime album, Pure Ass. 25 of the greatest train wrecks of all time, and that is one of them. The sync button does not work how you think it does. At all. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it will. It usually doesn't. But it does allow you to be able to use your pitch lock fader and just really be able to do some creative things to make your music, to do live transitions, to be a real DJ again and take the crowd through the holy crap, I can't believe he just mixed that live journey. We all keep making fun of all these DJs that are just going up there and making hand signals and all that. How's that any different than if you're pre-making all your stuff and all your transitions in Ableton? Well, I made them myself. So? That doesn't mean anything. You didn't mix it. You're not a DJ, and you're a producer with Ableton. And I'm not knocking those guys because they can definitely do some great stuff. But you want to be able to mix live, and it's hard sometimes mixing live because their toolboxes are limited because you guys keep worrying about what the club standard is. So there, that was a bit of a rant. But that's VirtualDJ. Love the software. I use it. I've been using it for quite some time. And don't get me wrong, I love Tractor too. Tractor has some of the best effects, but Tractor doesn't do video. VirtualDJ does video, karaoke, it'll play any song imaginable, and I like that. Not to mention that the actual way to organize music is so much better. Freaking like crates. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? In this day and age of nested folders and advanced file systems, and you guys are still using crates, come on, bro. Seriously. I want to be able to take my USB stick, right? I can get 128 gig, 256 gig USB 3.0 stick, and I have all my music categorized the way I want it to. I want to be able to plug it into my computer, have it read it, and that's it. I'm ready to DJ. I don't want it to sit there and organize crates. You know, sometimes I organize my stuff on the go on iTunes, and I can sit there and just do it on my iPhone, plug it in, bam, I'm ready to go. Whoops. Boy, good thing I do this for a living. The point is, I don't get crates. I think it's stupid. Because if, God forbid, anything gets corrupted, you're done for. At least with VirtualDJ, it just uses whatever folders you have. And you have virtual folders that you can do similar to crates. And you also have filters. The smart folders are incredible because I have a folder that says, you know, mega cuts, and what it does is it looks for all the songs that are tagged mega cuts and puts it into one virtual folder for me. Or I can say, hey, these are the top 100 songs that I play all the time, bam, do that. Or songs with this artist in them. Pretty much anything imaginable you can do. It's seriously the most powerful software out there. It is, no joke. Try it. Just stop worrying about whole VirtualDJ Serato versus Tractor thing. Give it a try and you're gonna love it. Now that being said, again, I gotta say the same thing I said at the very beginning. I did not get paid to do this video. I don't get along with the VirtualDJ support staff. There's no secret about that, except for a couple of guys that are really great. But it is a great software, and it has allowed me to do some really advanced stuff with my mixing. And I really hope that you'll enjoy some of the stuff that I did, and I was able to do, and see yourself doing it as well. My name's Arnaldo Offerman with a mic that went dead and another mic, so now I'm down to this one. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Leave your comments below. Haters, I would love to hear how stupidly wrong you are when you write your comments. But on the real though, thanks for tuning in. Can't wait to see all the thumbs up and all the thumbs down, plus the Serato guys complaining about it, but it is what it is. Y'all have a great night. Good night. God bless.